Hello everybody, it's me Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. This game was developed by Sandfall Interactive and published by Kelper Interactive and released on April 24th of 2025 on the PlayStation 5, the PC, and Xbox X and S. Now, what exactly is this game? Well, it kind of came out of nowhere, and oh my goodness, I am so amazed how well this turned out. It is a old school style action turn-based RPG. And as for the overall premise, it goes like this. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 takes place in a dark setting where every year for the past 67 years, the people of the isolated Isles of Lumiere suffer an event known as the Gomage, where a goddess called the Paintress paints an ever-decreasing number, and all humans with that age and above just disappear. Every year after this, they set up an expedition of volunteers to head to the mainland in an effort to get to the Paintress and slay her before she can paint a lower number. And that's basically where this game takes place, as you are part of expedition number 33 on your quest to go and stop the Paintress. Now, the one thing I have to point out about this game is while you do explore vast, giant open worlds that are very visually, beautifully stunning, and then once you get later on in the games, the colors and stuff start just going. It is like almost like if you took a bunch of paintings and put it in a blender. It's just weird, eerie world that you travel through with your characters here. And on your way, you have the main fighting mechanic in this game, which hands down, it's almost based off of like Persona, and they said they also got some ideas from Final Fantasy. But the fight mechanics consist of you taking turns, and you have a little image meter on your left-hand side of the screen that shows who's going in what order, kind of similar to what Final Fantasy did. But basically, you have your different abilities. You have a attack with a gun right from the beginning that uses different bullets. Now, you can save these because they take a point away from your 1 meter that you can charge up to do a super attack with. But, you know, a lot of times you can have it set up to where you can stun enemies this way. So you have a shoot attack, you have your dodge ability, a jump ability, and a parry ability, along with your normal attack and your items and your magic. And the main thing about this is the way this game is designed, you really need to learn how to proper dodge and parry in this game. Some of the higher level end bosses, especially, are one-shot kills. If you miss a dodge or parry, you're dead, even on the easiest difficulty. But most of the time, as long as you can actually watch an enemy and you can judge from when they're going to attack you, and you can base pressing the button at the right time, it's actually not as difficult as you would think once you get used to it. Now, as for the jump, that's a little bit different. There's a little icon that'll appear on the enemy before they do a move that you have to jump from. And that's really the only time you really use jump in a battle, I've noticed. A lot of times it always end up hitting me a couple times because I wouldn't remember, oh crap, that's right. You got to wait for the icon to show you. That way you can jump. And along with this, in the fighting mechanics are QTE events. You can go in and turn them to where they're automatic. You don't have to worry about it. But this is how you get multiple attacks off each time you attack with the enemy and get like bonus damage and different abilities that you can apply to your enemies. Now, the thing, like I said, you really have to learn the attack patterns of enemies to be able to parry and dodge them right and get your meter up to where you can do your special abilities. And each of the characters that you have some really unique abilities. There's one that's based off of stances, another one that's like, I'm going to say the magician, but these four main characters you play through in this game all play quite differently, and I actually like the way this game plays. Now, also when you're fighting these weird enemies, they'll also have like the shield icons. This is the best time I've found, like if you normally save your bullets from your gun, but that's like the best time you actually shoot them to break their shields, because they have to take a hit for each little shield on screen, and you can't hurt them until you get rid of their shields. But once you do that, you'll realize that while it's simplistic at the beginning, it gets really in-depth and detailed, especially with your abilities that you get from your pictos and your spells and your tints. Basically, your pictos, they give you passive upgrades where you can like stuff like fire damage, critical upgrades, stuff like that. And you have 3 different slots for each character for your pictos. And after you upgrade them enough, they become an automatic passive ability, and then you can take that out of a slot and put a different picto in there. So you're ever evolving your character and adding these different abilities, which actually help a lot in battle, especially when you figure out some of these monsters that you fight. Now, along with that, you have your stains and your spells and your tints. Tints are materials, basically, and you use these to upgrade different weapons. You can reset your abilities and also increase your Lumina points, which is basically your game's, your character's main level. Spells, pretty much self-explanatory. The spells, tell you what they do. You got to save up your little meter bar before you can use your spells. The stains and all that's a big thing. It gets, like I said, it's multi-layered and quite, full of different mechanics, and some of them can seem kind of tricky or elusive at first until you figure out how to build each character the way you want. You want one as a powerhouse, one as a healer, and stuff like that. You can definitely do that in this game. It's actually quite easy to do. Now, I'm going to say some pros and cons about this game. First of all, the pros. Hands down, the graphics. You can tell this is an Unreal 5 game. Visually, it's striking. The level designs, just how it's all like this weird alternate reality, like just sick, twisted painting from hell sort of aspect of it. It's visually very, very appealing. I absolutely love that. Next up is the mechanics, honestly. Especially level designs and enemies with the mechanics. Especially your abilities as being able to fight and everything are so simple at first, and then you realize once you scratch that layer, it's super, super deep, and you can build a custom character to be a complete one-hit badass, really. I did it. It was quite fun. You can't actually farm. As long as you go back to the flags, it reactivates enemies, and you can farm these enemies and go up in level. I think the highest level you can get in this is 33, no joke. But you can farm your characters and enemies to actually get experience to make the game even easier for these epic boss battles that you go through and stuff like that. And like I said, the level designs are fantastic, and the music is phenomenal. But the music's also on my cons list, and I'll explain. But honestly, the music and the voice acting in this is phenomenal. They got Andy Serkis in this. They got several other real good voice actors in this game. And it shows with the fact that these characters, how they develop, how you honestly feel sad for them, and you hope that they get through on their quest. And it's all epic and messed up, and there's people dying left and right, and it's actually really, really fun to play. Now, as for cons, now you'll see in this footage here, I don't know what's wrong. I'm going to try to reset my controller, but I think there's a glitch with the run button. Even though I'm holding down the run button every so often, the dude's still stopping, like act like he's skipping or something. I don't know if that's just a glitch I'm having, but yeah, I can't run constantly. He keeps quitting from running. Now, I can understand if you had a little stamina meter and you got tired. Okay, but no. Next up for cons is actually the music. And hear me out. But Nathan, you just said the music's fantastic. Yes, it is so orchestral. It's so different. It's moving with each and every character. But in the game world, when you're exploring, 90% of the time where you're exploring, it's playing the same song over and over and over again. It's what I like to call the Ghostbusters theory. We can take a good song like Ghostbusters music and just play it on a loop to where you want to kill somebody. You can only hear Bustin' Makes Me Feel So Good for so long before you start poking out eyeballs. And that's the same problem I have with this. The music is fantastic, but there are so many parts in it where, like in certain large areas, you're going through and it's the same song being played over. And while beautiful, it gets annoying after a while. And the other thing I have to point out I don't like is the overworld map. The overworld map is kind of really friggin' pointless. It really is pointless in this, honestly, because you got different, styles. You have your normal, third-person mode. Then you have this one where it's slightly over top, almost like you're playing on a board game, which looks cool. But when it goes to the far world map that, just shows you the locations, it is by far the most pointless thing in the game, and they could have just used without it, really. One point I got to point out, Grim Harvest for best deals, people. Now, this game will take you anywhere from 20 to 30 hours to beat, and that is not including if you go and exploring everything. You can get well over 60 hours out of this game very, very easily. But it took me roughly about 27 hours to beat it. And honestly, for a rather decent price game, too. It's not no $90 Nintendo Switch 2 price. And you know what? They tried hard to make this a AAA game, and it shows. Though some of the lip syncing's a little bit off. But to let you know how good this game was received, it sold over 1 million copies in just 3 days. That's right. Honestly, I can say hands down, this is what I didn't see coming. I never heard of until I got to play it. And I was happy I got to play through this experience and see the journey of these characters that are struggling to save them and their family and friends. Can I recommend Clair Obscur Expedition 33? Hell yes, I can. Just remember, this is a turn-based RPG. So if you want action slashing like Get Devil May Cry, that is not here. This is turn-based. but it is so deep and just fundamentally so fulfilling to build a character that is such a beast in this, and finding these really neat character designs on this really epic quest through this weird, sick, twisted world. Hands down, I have to say, go out and get Clair Obscur Expedition 33 if you haven't already. This is a fantastic game. Once again, I want to thank each and every single one of you for listening to this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Leave any comments below. I'll answer each and every single one of them. And of course, here at Devil Dog Gaming, we always end our videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. One take. Peace out till next time, yo.